There comes a moment when you stop showing up for people who only noticed you when they needed something. A moment when you choose silence over explanation, distance over chaos, and calm over constant compromise, and the world changes. Suddenly, the same voices that once took you for granted begin to search for you. The same hands that never valued your presence begin to reach for what they lost. Because when you stop being constantly available, you don't just withdraw, you transform. You reclaim your time, your peace, and your worth. And in that quiet shift, everything around you begins to rearrange itself. Silence is a declaration. There is a moment in every person's life when silence becomes more powerful than any argument, any explanation, or any desperate attempt to be understood. Silence is not emptiness, it is intention. It is the quiet decision to stop defending your worth to people who never truly listened. When you stop being available, your silence begins to speak for you. It tells the world that you have finally stepped out of roles that drained you. It declares that you no longer carry conversations alone, no longer hold together relationships built on one-sided effort, no longer sacrifice your peace just to keep the wrong people comfortable. Silence forces others to face the reality they ignored when your voice was still present. It removes the noise that once shielded them from their own actions. Suddenly, they notice the absence of your support, your presence, your consistency. And that absence becomes a mirror, reflecting everything they failed to appreciate. Silence is not withdrawal, it is evolution. It is the moment you let your actions speak with a calm certainty that cannot be debated. When you embrace silence, you reclaim the narrative, and in that stillness, the world finally realizes the value it once overlooked. Distance reveals intentions. Distance is not a punishment, it is clarity. The moment you step back from people, you begin to see what was hidden in the noise of constant interaction. When you stop being endlessly available, you create space wide enough for truth to finally show itself. Some people will move closer, not out of convenience, but out of genuine care. Others will remain still, revealing that their connection to you was never rooted in loyalty, but in what you provided. And some will quietly slip away, proving they were only there as long as your presence benefited them. Distance exposes what words often disguise. It reveals who reaches out when you stop initiating, who checks on you without needing a reminder, who values you without needing your constant presence. It shows you who sees you and who only saw the advantages of being around you. But distance also reveals something else. You. It shows you how much peace you gain when you stop forcing conversations, chasing validation, or stretching yourself thin to maintain bonds that were never balanced. In distance, you rediscover your strength, your boundaries, and your emotional clarity. Because space doesn't break real connections, it only breaks the illusions. Self-worth resets the room. There is a powerful shift that happens the moment you recognize your own value, not in comparison to others, but in the quiet truth of who you are. When you stop being constantly available, you send an unspoken message that your time, presence, and energy are not open doors for anyone to walk through without intention. Self-worth recalibrates every interaction. People who once expected your immediate response begin to hesitate. Those who relied on your kindness without offering anything in return begin to rethink their approach. And the individuals who truly care start to show it more clearly because they feel the shift in you. Self-worth is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is the inner confirmation that you deserve relationships built on respect, not convenience. When you elevate your standards, the entire room adjusts. Those meant to be part of your life rise with you. Those who can't match your growth naturally fade out. And as this shift unfolds, something remarkable happens. You no longer chase acceptance because you finally understand your own importance. By valuing yourself, you teach others how to treat you. And when you walk with self-worth, the world follows that rhythm, whether it's ready or not. Boundaries rewrite every relationship. Boundaries are not walls. They are the quiet design of a healthier life. When you stop being endlessly available, you begin to draw lines that protect your time, your emotions, and your inner balance. And those lines reshape everything around you. Suddenly, people who were used to your immediate yes must face your thoughtful no. Those who relied on your constant presence must adjust to your chosen distance. Boundaries redefine the dynamic, not through conflict, but through clarity. The truth is, many relationships survive only because you kept giving more than you should have. But when you set boundaries, the imbalance becomes impossible to ignore. Some will resist, not because your boundaries are wrong, but because your lack of them once made their lives easier. Others will respect the change, valuing your growth instead of taking it personally. And the right people, the ones meant for your journey, will understand that boundaries are expressions of respect, not rejection. As you enforce these limits, your life becomes calmer, your interactions more meaningful, and your energy more protected. Boundaries do not push people away, they filter the ones who were never meant to stay. And in that filter, you reclaim your peace with unwavering certainty. Your energy becomes a privilege. There comes a moment when you realize that not everyone deserves access to your mind, your time, or your emotional strength. When you stop being constantly available, your energy transforms from something people assumed would always be there into something rare, something valuable, something they must earn. This shift is subtle but powerful. People who once overlooked your efforts suddenly recognize the depth of what you brought into their lives. They begin to understand that your presence was not a guarantee, it was a gift. Your energy becomes a privilege when you choose where it flows rather than letting it be pulled in every direction. You stop entertaining conversations that drain you, situations that confuse you, and relationships that exhaust you. In that decision, your spirit grows lighter, your mind sharper, your path clearer, and the world responds. People begin to respect your time because they can no longer take it for granted. They show up with more sincerity, more appreciation, more intention. The quality of your connections rises because your standards rise with them. When you protect your energy, you elevate your life. And when others realize that your presence is no longer automatic, they start treating it with the gratitude and respect it always deserved.